That's the clap of starting. I guess no one else is recording their audio, so if this file gets corrupted, we're fucked. But we'll take that risk.
My name is Devin.
Hello, Devin. How are you?
I am good. I am adding a ton of mods to Mech Warrior 5, and I haven't even started the campaign yet. I'm just like modding the game.
Oh, well, that sounds interesting. So, hello and welcome to another episode of Farcast, the mech science fiction and fantasy themed podcast. I'm your host, Ian, and joining me tonight are three interesting individuals from across the internet. Devin just introduced himself. What about you, Owen? I just said your name, so I sort of spoiled who you are, but can you introduce yourself?
Well, I'll try. Most of my friends call me Owen. I'm probably the least interesting guy in this room.
Wrong.
How wrong you are?
I mean, okay, I won't argue, I suppose.
Oh, I don't know about that. Let's argue about that.
Well, no, we can.
I'm going to argue about whether or not you're going to argue. Okay, I can do this all day.
I mean, I know you're going to argue about me arguing with you arguing, but is there really an argument to be made during this argument?
You're right. I can see the
I need
point.
to roll a couple of d6s. And target number 4. Let's see here. 2 successes. Also, for those of you who don't know, name's Lecogular. Most people just call me Cog. And, oh boy, how do I describe myself without going on a tangent for 2 hours? Combat flight sim enthusiast, aerospace engineer, hopefully, eventually. Also love BattleTech, and I've basically played every single BattleTech game that I've been able to get my hands on, which includes
Godlike.
2 through 4, Mech Warrior Online, Mech Assault 1 and 2, and BattleTech itself.
Man, no one's played Mech Warrior 1, but that's quite a list of credentials you have there.
Yeah, Mech Warrior 1's basically impossible to get a hold of, unless you have a physical copy.
That's really a shame.
It's actually freeware. You can play it in browser.
Huh,
Oh.
Didn't know that.
neat.
Yeah, you can just look it up and you'll start playing it for about 5 minutes, realize that the sound effects are so chunky that your ears are imploding, and then you'll turn it off and never come back, which is basically what I
Wow.
did.
Is that the one with the polygon graphics, or are we talking about the one with the Mech Warrior rap ad for it?
The one with the rap was for PlayStation. It was under the Mech Warrior name, which confuses things. I think it was made in Japan, and it introduced all the 2C mechs, because this was the game where FASA commissioned a bunch of original designs because they were going through the legal kerfuffle, but they screwed up, and instead of purchasing the rights to their new designs, they essentially just rented them. So when they opted not to renew the rights for their own game, they lost their own rights to their own designs, which is why the 2C mechs, at least the initial wave, are all considered unseen, even though they're legally distinct from the other mechs.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a train wreck.
Yeah, I mean, you would think they would know to not do that.
Yeah, in short, fuck you, Harmony Gold.
Yes, forever.
Yeah. So in that case, you can't blame Harmony Gold. That was all Victor Musical Industries, and I know that because it says it on the technical readout I have sitting next to me.
Yeah, I'll still
Victor
blame 'em for it.
Musical Industries.
Yes. With a K.
Why do they have any sort of...
Connection.
I
They're a
assume...
music industry. They do sound stuff, not, sci-fi...
I'm picturing in my mind right now an Atlas wielding a tenor saxophone on the battlefield.
No,
Sold.
tuba.
Oh.
Tuba.
Oh,
Yeah.
tuba. Yes, yes. Even better.
Like a commando with a trumpet.
Yes.
I just
And
thought
an
of...
urban mech with a saxophone. Irby with a sax.
yeah, and the new Atlas would be called an Atlas 2BA, tuba. Yeah. I thought it was funny.
The Mac Cat would be wielding the bass guitar.
That would be glorious.
Yes.
So, Cog, you have been a voice actor for several of my videos. So which characters did you play? Because I'm an amnesiac and can't remember anything.
Yeah. Wrath of the Sovereign, I played Violet Leader, who piloted a B-Wing. I also voiced Red 10, which was in an X-Wing, who died at a Wilhelm scream incident. And I've also played the Convoy Driver for your most recent one, Crescent Fortress.
Ah, yeah. I was in the convoy too. I was the guy that had to get out and go pee.
Yeah. I remember also signing up for the Stinger pilot, but apparently things changed, but yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, I accidentally asked two people at once,
Ah.
like, hey, can you play this part? And then, oops. So that was a screw up
Sure.
on my part.
Yeah, it's alright. Turned out well in the end, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think everyone was in the best role possible, especially me. I looked great with my single line and my dick out.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, Devin, you have a lot of artistic endeavors. Are there any you wish to tell anyone about?
Sure. I am currently trying to advance my skills in concept art. Video games, film, costume design, whatever. Most of what I'm doing is for my personal Star Wars project, but um, I'm also trying to learn, animation concept as well. Drawing like the, I guess you could say, Disney style cartoon look.
Yeah, from what I've seen, you definitely are at that professional level. Is there a particular website or link you have that you can tell people where to find your stuff?
I haven't really uploaded much. I do have an art station, which is arts. What is it actually? I was speaking as if I knew it off the top of my head. It's D Todd Art. DTODDART. And there's
God, I
only
wish I
three
could
things up
spell.
there.
But yeah, we'll have to check them out. Is it all right if I post that last image you put up with the mech
Oh
for
yeah,
everyone to see?
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Sure, yeah.
That actually took me a good bit of time, but I think it came out pretty good. I'm actually proud of that.
You say a good bit of time, but I'm pretty sure you said like a day, so that's like lightning fast compared to me.
I think it was like an hour and 30 minutes. It's
Oh God.
it's a re-illustration of the Griffin from the tabletop box that I saw at Barnes and Noble. But I like the way the mech looks because it looks very much like the original Battlemaster design that was pretty much stolen. The redesign of him is cool. Like I like how he's like bulky, but the Griffin definitely looks more like the Battlemaster.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. And it looks like we are suddenly invaded by a certain raccoon who is another voice actor and writer, I believe. Hello there.
Yo.
Uh-oh. That just sounded like a semi-intelligent fart. It wasn't even a voice.
I detected a raccoon and 500 meters.
Oh God.
It's
I
like ear
couldn't-
rape Mike on from Xbox Live days.
Establishing target lock over.
You kill some kid and he's like,
Enemy power up.
And
Detected.
I can attest that to being true.
Target acquired.
So I guess today, to steer things in a certain direction, we were gonna talk about the Mechlab and the differences in weapons and loadouts you could have between the different Mech Warrior games. Cog, you were really pushing for this. Is there anything you wanted to start us out with, or should we just go through the order of the games?
I guess we should just go through the order of games, because, well, I think, actually, for those who don't follow the Battletech universe closely, we should probably lay some groundwork for how mech customization works. So for specifically the tabletop version, each mech has a certain amount of hard points in each location, like you have a certain number in your arms, legs, chest, etc., where you could mount weapons, heat sinks, jump jets, all that sort of crap. And each section is basically just an empty void for you to stuff things in. Now, in tabletop, that's fine, because, most of the time you're either trying to roleplay or you're not doing mech customization. And Mech Warrior, however, that created a few issues. And, yeah, it really took until Mech Warrior 4 for them to get it right. But, yeah.
It's also should be noted that in BattleTech, you typically play multiple mechs, tanks, infantry, aircraft, things like that at once, so it's not balanced necessarily for a one-on-one even fight. Like you could control a force of 5 clan mechs, which are all typically very powerful against, let's say, 8 inner sphere mechs are typically junkers that are a bit underpowered and sluggish in comparison, but it ends up being a fair fight. It's not something you can really directly translate into a video game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Fair and balanced.
So, Mech Warrior 1, do any of you really have any experience with it, or am I the one that is the most?
Customization, from
experience
what I
here.
know from Mechwarrior 1, and this is because I watched a bunch of Mechwarrior reviews, is you can swap out weapons, and maybe a few heat sinks, but that's basically it.
Huh.
You can also make a singular weapon group.
I didn't
But-
even know that MechWarrior 1 had customization, honestly.
It has a little bit, and we're talking about the PC DOS Mech Warrior 1, not the PS1 Sega Mech Warrior, which nobody played because of that awful rap theme. I think killed anyone that saw that commercial.
I actually played that one. I've actually played that one.
You're
It's also
dead.
on the
You're dead.
SNES.
Shh, shh. Get out of here, zombie.
Hey, let him talk.
It wasn't actually that terrible for a console game, but for a Mechwarrior game, it was abysmal.
That's fair.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. So yeah, Mech Warrior 1 kind of lackluster, a little DOSy, rough around the edges. Not a whole lot to really even talk about because it's
But
just.
given for 1989, that was groundbreaking.
Oh, absolutely, very impressive.
shit.
It's one of those things you appreciate as like a little stepping stone, but you look back and go, I don't need to revisit that.
Yeah. You visit it once, you honor its legacy, and then you never touch it again.
Yeah, you respect where it
Pretty
all
much.
started, but then you just move on.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Now, the next one is my personal favorite, which is all my animations are themed after it, Mech Warrior 2, which came out in 1995 for Windows 95 and DOS. I think some early Apple systems might have had it or something as
Game
well.
was so ahead of its time.
Yeah, it was beautiful and held together with duct tape and chewing gum, but it really worked.
Yeah.
It was
Customization in that game was amazing. I'm just kidding.
You guys ever watch
Amazing, yes. Problematic in terms of a lore standpoint, also yes. Because you could put lasers in the knees.
that's
Could
actually
Could you really?
Yes, you could. You could put
Yeah.
lasers in
Oh.
the knees.
actually
Can you
Actually,
imagine just
like-
only having lasers in the knee?
Yeah, meta builds for that game when multiplayer was actually, a thing for Mech 2 was remove all armor and equipment from arms, put things only in the torsos, remove rear armor to save weight, put lasers in the knees, etc. It was
Actually,
Yeah.
I'm going to be the actually guy. That's not non-canon. There are battle mechs with lasers in their legs.
Yeah,
That's
was,
fucking
These are
terrible.
legs. Yes,
There was one.
yeah, I was
They
about to say that.
really
Like,
but they're not common, and there's probably a reason for that.
Yeah,
So as
I
it
don't know how that
walks and it
works.
shoots, does the laser on the knees bounce? Like, how does that work? They'll just like bob when you shoot people, dude.
Yeah, I think the one I'm thinking of, this one of the cicadas had them on like little turrets or something, which even that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But
Yeah,
also, I think the Crusader has like an SRM pack on its hip or something. But
Atlas
Yeah.
has an SRM pack on its hip.
Well, so
It
does
has
the
a fanny
Grasshopper.
pack missile launcher.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mech Warrior
but
2 is a great game, but it's also incredibly broken because you can do the fucking laser boat and just destroy anything.
Yeah, or you can just mount 11 PPCs on a dire wolf, mount a jump jet.
Oh my.
Yeah, in Mech Warrior Online, there's a time where you can take a stalker and make a Death Star build where you can fire all of the PPCs in one shot people.
Yeah,
Dude, it was
yeah.
so stupid.
Yeah, I specifically remember tinkering on in the Mechlab with the direwolf, mounting 10 large lasers on it, a couple of heat sinks, a lot of jump jets, and maximum armor, and being able to basically insta-kill /delete /Fusro Domex out of existence by hitting the cockpit, because there were just that many bullets of light.
Well, if you look at the image here, this is the Viking. This mech actually had machine guns and small lasers on its legs.
How
Sick.
the fuck do you aim those? Who knows?
No, it's just like I really, really hate infantry and elementals, so I'm just gonna put these here for them.
Yes.
Where's the
Infantry
love
and
for the
elementals
tarantula
need
mech, dude? They need to add the tarantula.
The only
that's
love I
beautiful.
think
Mech was
is
actually
return
in Mech
fire
2.
for
It was in Mech Warrior 2, but you had to have a patch to play it or it would instantly crash your game.
Yeah.
And I remember playing it and I thought it was cool that they actually worked the legs into it, but like it was so crap.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
well, that was Mech Warrior 2 for you. A lot of things had to be solved. Like, arm actuators, they do nothing. Literally do nothing. Don't even have weight values, don't even have percentage values. They just do nothing. They take up space.
That doesn't help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was essentially no difference between mechs besides hitboxes and weight.
Yeah.
So, like, you had the Rifleman 2C and the Hellbringer were identical weights. You could customize them to be exactly the same. And since the Hellbringer had a smaller profile, it was usually wiser to pick that because the Rifleman 2C had such big arms. The arms would just get blown off instantly.
Constantly.
And, you just couldn't make it viable even if you maxed out the arms, which is a shame because it's my favorite mech from that game.
Yeah. It's such a great design.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks that they took it from Macross.
Yeah, technically they
If you want
didn't.
that-
Technically, that's a PlayStation 1 design. That's they fucked up the rights with Victor Musical Industries.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's almost as if they didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah, which cough. We have something in common there right now, but
Yeah.
we're gonna throw that stone in our glass house.
No, I know what I'm doing. I'm just talking.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But yeah, mech customization for Mech 2 was pretty whack, but it made sense given the development hell it went through.
Yes.
The fact that you're
Yeah.
able to at all is kind of a milestone.
Yeah.
That and the fact that the game had 2 expansions, which says a lot because the foundation
One expansion, one standalone.
Yes, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I was thinking of, for whatever reason, Pirate Moon for Mech Warrior 3. I don't know why that came up.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Was that game any good?
It was
Pirate
hard
Moon
as
is
fuck.
basically Dark Souls of
Yeah.
Mech Warrior.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mech Warrior 3 is great, but
Yes.
Pirate Moon is Dark Souls mode.
yeah.
Oh god.
Well, that's usually what expansions are, where they're harder than the main game.
Well,
Usually.
Pirate's Moon does that. Ghost Bear's Legacy is just, oh god, why am I glitching through the wall? Why are submarines aircraft, and why are all of my rounds leaving and then disappearing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm playing through Ghostbear's Legacy using only the Kit Fox, and it's a fucking nightmare. It's you're playing
Yeah,
a game
why are
in
you
a
doing
because
I've
I hate
never
myself.
played Ghostbear's Legacy, and I do not plan to change that.
Yeah, I'm recording it for my YouTube channel, but basically I wanted to challenge myself to go through the game without torso twisting at all by picking the shittiest mech in the game. And it's absolutely nightmare fuel, and Ghostbear's Legacy is buggy as
So
fuck.
broken. Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially the underwater mission. Dear god.
yeah.
There was this. I don't know if anybody's gonna even knows this channel anymore because it got deleted years ago. There was a guy called Hippocat.
Oh
It
yeah.
was this,
Oh
It was
yeah,
just
Hippo
Russian.
Cat, yeah.
it was this Russian dude that would just play games, and he ended up facing against a Nova that he legged. And what did this goddamn AI do? It decided to use its directional jump jets and slide from left to right, up and down, dodging everything this poor guy had. And he says, "I'm in a dire wolf, and I can't kill this thing." And he says, and he nearly killed me, but I got a lucky shot on him and blew him out of the sky. This mech nearly killed me with one leg.
That's one thing I miss about
The
directional jump
AI
jets.
became self-aware for a minute.
Flamingo Mechs.
Yeah.
Never underestimate the Nova.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that thing is tiny for, what, a 55-ton mech?
It's a 50-ton mech with 12 ER medium lasers.
Or you can mount, like, twin PPCs or a Gauss
Yeah.
cannon or something stupid on it. It's,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that thing is tiny yet deadly, and aside from the torso twist issue, it's a great mech.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
What weirded me out is that I always thought, because of the name Nova, then Supernova. you would think that would just be an evolution of it, but it's actually it's weird how they just turn your head on that. I love the Supernova for one reason. Play it in Mechwarrior 3 unmodified, and then fire it.
Oh, right, yeah.
Boom.
In any case,
You literally explode into a crater.
I love that.
Like I found that out by accident. I was like, "What the? Why did I blow up?" And then I loaded in a second time and fired. And like, oh, this might be good. So I ran up to an enemy mech and then suicide bombed it. It didn't kill it, but it made me laugh.
Speaking of mechs, I gotta know everyone's favorite mech. You can only say one. I will go first. It is the Battle Master.
Good
That's
choice.
a tough.
Oh, this is a difficult question. I have a favorite mech for each game. Shit.
Yeah, that's I can see the issue.
I like the battle. I'll say I like the Battle Master, but not only because he looks fucking cool, but because it was the secret mech that you had to patch in order to play, and I thought that was cool. Because you couldn't play it really in the base game without crashing.
Well,
I already
I know it's
discussed
not
my
a reason.
I already discussed my favorite mech on the previous episode, so I'm gonna keep it brief. I'd say my favorite one is the Vulcan. Like it's just such a weird and suboptimal design that I love it ironically.
yeah, I can see why, because my favorite one is probably one of the worst assault mechs to ever exist, second only to the Charger, the Banshee.
Banshee's actually good with a melee build in BattleTech.
Yes, and that's why I like it, because I like the idea of just going punch out on a mech's face.
Yeah.
And to wear sunglasses.
I think my favorite mech is probably going to be the Highlander, simply because
There can be
Highlander
only
burial.
one.
Yes.
Hey.
There can be only one.
If only he could carry a sword, that'd be awesome.
Are you
I mean,
familiar
there
with
do
Hammer.
exist melee weapons in the game. I mean, they have the hatchet, and then they have the House Kurita sword. So
Yeah.
that's about as close as you can get to a claymore.
Or Claymore, if you want to be,
Yeah, Celtic or Celtic.
Celtic, not
Yeah.
Celtic. No,
I know I've heard it both. I know it's Celtic, but
Yeah. But yeah.
There are a bunch of interesting melee weapons, like there are flails, chain whips, and pile drivers on the. In the official BattleTech lore, there are rules for each of these weapons. I think there's like one's a farming combine that you can use as a melee weapon, presumably on an aggro mech.
yeah.
That's kind of interesting. But onto the favorite mechs, I'm gonna go with the Stormcrow because it's the first mech I ever played in any of the video games. And I love how it looks. It looks like it was glued together wrong. It's got the weird arms are like backwards. It's got the double barrels, and its feet are flipped. It's like the Timberwolf or Mad Cat's legs are stuck on backwards. This is so wonky and weird. I love it.
Yeah.
Speaking of weird arms, the Fire Moth.
Oh yeah, that's a good
Well,
pick.
But
don't
there is
speak
a
of the
reason
Fire
why the
Moth's
arms are like
arms.
that. Because they were supposed to carry pods meant for elementals or infantry on their arms, and just haul ass into the field, drop them off, and say "see ya," and then leave. But it didn't turn out like that.
Yeah.
That's the most powerful mech in Mech Warrior 2 because you can just mount a single medium pulse laser and go through the entire game not getting touched by anything. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
You become
Wait,
Two-Faced.
Which clan trial position was it? Was it Jade Falcon that had the hardest one, where you had to play as a Fire Moth versus Dire Wolves?
Yeah, that's the final Fire Moth mission.
Yeah, that's
Or
Just
Falcon.
go fast.
that's a middle
now.
finger from the developers right there.
It's not as big as a finger as the Kit Fox mission before it because you can't torso twist and you have to fight, I think, a Marauder and a Warhawk. So you're pretty much screwed out of the gate.
Yeah, but if you can avoid those death balls coming at you, then which is relatively speaking easy, because in the PPCs for Mech Warrior 2 were, oh no, it's the BFG, but it's fired much faster, but it can't auto hit you.
Yeah, that's
just
true.
go fastal now.
Or
gotta
just
go
fire
fast.
10 of them at once.
Oh god.
I wonder why they made them like that, honestly, because
Balance reasons. Otherwise,
well,
they'd become the meta.
yeah, I
They
guess
do
you
a
can
shit
say the
ton
same
of
thing about
damage.
the
They
Frost Rifle,
do electric.
because
They screw with your sensors, and generally speaking, they're not that heavy. 7 tons is not much for heavier
No.
mechs.
especially for clan weaponry.
Well,
God, yeah.
before Mech Warrior 2, they were almost always depicted as just being a different type of laser. If you look at the old BattleTech art, it's just like this pure white beam. It doesn't look like lightning or anything like that. It seems like that idea has been introduced later. So I think that was sort of balance and aesthetically different.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're going to have a red laser, blue laser, red and white, which is all right, I guess. But when you have man-made lightning coming out of a gun, that's a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, I like the
Yeah.
change,
My favorite
definitely.
weapon.
Yeah, it seems to be Doom inspired, if I had to guess, because it looks like the plasma gun in that
because
game.
it looks just like the BFG. It looks just like the BFG's bolt as it fires, but not the 40-something tracer rounds that come out and kill everything.
Yeah, I still love the flames and that boom, that very deep boom it makes whenever it hits something. It feels like it has much more weight than in any of the other games.
I love the
Dude.
autocannons in Mech Warrior 2, honestly. With the,
autocannons in Mech Warrior 2 were done correctly. Mech 3, I know why they changed them, because otherwise you'd just have a rapid-fire death machine, since you could reload at the MFB. And Mech 4, well, yeah,
could have been worse.
it makes... Mech 4 did weird things with autocannons.
Oh, wait. Let's go to Mech 3 and then we can bitch about Mech 4, just to maintain a structure. So Mech 3 customization.
Basically the same as Mech 2, but with a few more options. Like, you have more electronic equipment, you have more weapon variety, ammo variety, and LAMS was also introduced. Other than that, you could stick lasers in the legs still, and still have a PPC come out of the arm that was meant for autocannon.
I think it technically has the most complicated customization of the whole series. Like, you can change the Pharaoh fit.
Yeah, it's got the most options for everything.
You can do armor type, like internal structure type. You can do like electronics and case and clan and interseer versions of all the weapons. There's a shitload of stuff you can do in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, plus then they allowed it so you can have your full weapons loadout, because in MechWarrior 2 you could actually only have up to 10 weapons, which is why the Nova only used, I think, 8 medium lasers and then a pulse laser and a small laser or something. But in Mech 3 you could actually have the cannon weapons and all of the gear actually... like the equipment for each mech was actually in the game, whereas Mech 2, they didn't have things like anti-personnel pods or case.
Yeah. You can use all the lasers you want till your heart's content, or rather your engine blows up.
Yeah. Yes. I will say something. The heat management in Mech 3 is hell. Yeah. My god, the amount of heat lasers produced, which makes them balanced, because, then they don't just become the meta. Yeah. But, dear god, firing like 3 medium lasers will put your reactor at 50% no matter how many heat sinks you have. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you've got to either put a shitload of heat sinks on there, or just be very careful when you're fighting.
No, or shoot from range and use LRMs, because, draw distance.
Speaking of LRMs, it was beautiful in that game how whenever you fire them at the ground, it creates that giant-ass crater you can hide in. I love that. That's a perfect touch.
And it was
oh god,
it was never done again. It's amazing that game came out in 98, 99, and we still haven't had that in another mech game.
Yeah. Mech Warrior 4, which came afterwards, was sort of half-baked, so it didn't have stuff like that.
Well, here's the thing. Mech Warrior 4 was actually originally the Mech Warrior 3, before, they saw what kind of a shit show that they had, brought someone else in to fix Mech 3, and then that said someone else basically just redid the entire game. I believe it was Zipper Interactive. They brought Zipper Interactive in, then they saw what happened, built their own version of the game, used their own engine, and that was the Mech Warrior 3 we got and loved.
And it turned out good.
Yeah, it was amazing.
The only downside to Mech Warrior 3 is the soundtrack and how short it is. That's literally my only
issue. There's no music. Mech Warrior 2 had the best music.
Yeah, but, I mean, You can always just use Mechwarrior 2 music.
Yeah. Or the
Yeah.
Timothy Seal remasters, which are
Yeah, that
godlike.
too.
I will say
when it
Mechwarrior.
comes to
Mhm.
sorry,
Go ahead.
I will say all the problems that MechWarrior 4 had, which granted there are quite a few of them, more than what I would like to admit to, is that the music is not one of the issues. I honestly love the music in that
Yeah,
game.
Mechwarrior 4 had some
One
pretty
is
good
when you're
music.
installing the game and that heavy militaristic drum just starts beating and it just plays the
Yeah.
entire time you're installing for like 7 hours because 2001 internet wasn't all that great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I actually prefer the MechWarrior 4 vanilla soundtrack to the Mercenaries or the. Did Black Knight even have its own original soundtrack? Did anyone
No, I don't
play
think
Black
it
Knight?
I don't know.
No,
Mm-mm.
No one
it's
cared for
more
Black
missions
Knight.
and mechs.
Yeah.
Oh wait, what
Mechwarrior
the
4
hell am I
Mercenaries,
talking about? I installed
however,
the game on a disc. There was no internet installation. Fuck. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's only been 19 years.
Oh God, don't make me feel old.
yeah. Pirates Moon was
Facts don't care
interesting for
about your
Mech 3.
feelings.
Yes, Pirates Moon was. I thought it was very fun. I liked its new environments it brought, but it felt like it was insanely unbalanced.
It was
Problem.
supposed to be. It was supposed to be challenging, but I think they didn't realize just how good of an AI they had built.
Damn it,
So-
AI.
I was thinking particularly there's one mission where you have to rescue your MFBs or like a convoy or something.
Oh,
The only one I remember was
please,
Train.
please don't bring back those nightmares.
Yeah, I just remember
I remember that mission.
they explode like 45 seconds after the mission start, and you have to book it like 2 kilometers to get there and just physically shield them from enemy fire with your own body because there's no way to stop the enemy before they can blow
Did
them
the
up.
developers beat the game themselves before they put it
I
out to the
don't
public?
think they did.
I don't
Legend
think
has
they-
it that the
gave up
developers
after
of
a while and
Pirates
said,
Moon are
"Eh,
still
someone will
trying to
figure it
beat it to this day.
But yeah, that mission was hell. The only way I was able to pull it off is LRM spam and basically having everyone else in a mech with no weapons and unlimited armor, essentially.
I could see that. Yeah, I did like the nice touches where early on you have to like go across this cratered moonscape, and there's this giant bottomless pit you have to cross with only your jump jets, and just like little touches like that where it's not a direct threat from the enemy, but just something in the
Yeah.
environment to contend with. That's cool.
Which makes it more interesting than just a flat flat terrain like a salt bed or just a moonscape or something like that. If the environment itself is a threat to you, as opposed to it just being, oh, you're dissipating heat slower or faster, which is mainly all it was, and a little bit of cover here and there. But when it's a
Yes.
threat to you, it's much more interesting.
Hold on, be right back.
Certainly.
Yeah, I think having a world to play around in is more important than having a vast array of toys to actually play with in your games. Because, MechWarrior Online, you have, what, I don't know, 60 mechs at this point to play with, but there's nothing to do with them. It's just...
Except fighting the same map.
Yeah, and I don't think we should really even talk too much about that game's customization, because there's just, like, nothing to get into. But,
Well,
It's just
how
MechWarrior
about we
4,
talk
but-
about like MechWarrior 4's customization first? Because
Yeah, it was interesting. I will say it was good. It wasn't great. It wasn't perfect, but it worked.
That's what matters.
It finally fixed the issue of being able to put lasers in the legs, and also, most mechs now actually felt like they had a purpose. For instance, it used to be that whenever I played the catapult, I just put a shit ton of lasers in the boxes instead of, missiles like they're supposed to. But now in MechWarrior 4, you're forced to put missiles in the missile boxes, which is great. It actually means the catapult is a fire support mech instead of whatever abomination I made it into.
yeah, like,
yeah.
I grew up with MechWarrior 4 and MechWarrior 4 Mercenaries, so technically I'm biased when it comes to them.
Same
But
here.
like, I think its system is one of the best in the series.
Yeah.
There's the whole like mechs having a different purpose thing, but also like, it might result in the weapons being more limited in terms of like possibilities per mech, but also means that you have to get more creative with them. Like if you
Yeah.
have a catapult, then like you can't fit any autocannons on there, so you have to struggle a bit more to find something that will actually suit the next mission.
Yeah.
Like you can try putting SRMs on it or MRMs, LRMs, large lasers. You gotta work it out.
The legendary bombast laser.
Yeah.
The bombast laser was cool.
It was weird and different. It took me a minute to figure out what I was supposed to do with it.
Oh yeah, remember the suicide weapon where
Yes.
all it was just a pack of explosives?
Just outfit a general with like 9 of these things and just run.
Yeah, Mechwarrior
I don't
4
think
had a lot of
even-
personality.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And,
definitely.
And Mechwarrior 4 Mercs. Oh, mwah, that thing. Oh, what they did with that was just perfect. They made direct fire slots. They added heat generating slots, ammo consumption slots. They just basically took the system that Mechwarrior 4 Vengeance introduced and made it better by adding more variety of slots that you can use, adding more weapons, and then Mech Tech came along and added more mechs, infantry, battle armor.
Yeah.
It was just a good time.
I do have some
There is-
criticisms about mercenaries. What were you going to say, Raccoon?
There's not enough good things I can. Well, let me put it this way: if I wanted to say all of the good things I had to say about Mechwarrior 4 Mercenaries, I'd probably be here for like 5 hours.
Yeah,
That's understandable.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I've probably played 4 more than 2 or 3, mostly because I couldn't get those games to run on my computer as a kid. But I absolutely loved the unique art direction. I thought the graphics were underwhelming compared to Mechwarrior 3. Like when you shoot a building in 3, they would each have unique destruction physics and things like that. Primitive physics, but they were there. And then Mechwarrior 4, you shoot a building and the whole thing just kind of goes up in one generic fireball, and that's kind of it.
yeah. It did make sense, however, because they did sacrifice some of the graphics to make, well, 1, the engine run better, 2, to have more entities on screen, and also finally fix the draw distance so you could see past 500
Yeah, the
meters.
draw distance in the maps on Mechwarrior 4.
That was
Mwah!
Yeah, that was pretty
Wonderful.
impressive.
that made Barlow Gap the best mission to ever exist.
Just having those giant battlefields that you can run across, like that just makes Mechwarrior 4 and Mercenaries just like 50% better, I swear.
4 was a great game in terms of gameplay, but I hated the look of the game and I hate how the
Yeah.
mechs are designed.
The
I
mechs
just don't
did
like
not-
it.
The mechs did not work well in terms of the art style.
I loved the art style from Mechwarrior 2 and 3. Mechwarrior Online's not bad. I do like the
Yeah.
way they made the mechs looks, but I don't like how they look in 4 at all.
Yeah, in MechWarrior 4, they look way too, I guess,
It's like
Mech-
cartoony, kinda.
yeah,
I
mecha
actually-
kind of.
I actually like Mechwarrior 4's art style. With a lot of the mechs, they actually look more like walking tanks, like with the
Yeah.
Bushwhacker and the Argus in particular. They
It's
just
got a
have their-
realistic military look to it.
Yeah.
but
Some
I
of
don't
them
like
transferred
that.
well. Some of them did not transfer well. Looking at you, Catapult.
Yeah, the catapult's pretty freaking ugly in that game.
Yeah,
The
the
Mac
catapult
was
looks
pretty good.
doofy, really.
Yeah. If I had to rank them, I'd go, I think, 3, 4, and then MechWarrior Online. And 2 doesn't count because it's so archaic, you can't really fit it in.
Well, MechWarrior 2 does have the catapult, and I'd say it looks fine in that.
Sure, I just mean the graphics are so technically limited. Like, you look at the Inner Sphere
Yeah.
Mechs and Mercenaries, too, and it's just like, yeah, I think that blobby
It's a
shape
couple
is
of
supposed to be
foxes with
a
foxes
dragon.
on top.
Yeah, it's
Gotta
rough
love
around the
that
edges.
Gorad shading.
Yeah, MechWarrior 4 also suffered from having a very limited map selection. Like in Mercenaries, you think, at least from MechWarrior 2, I'm going to go to a ton of planets, I'm going to do all sorts of things, I'm going to do all sorts of missions, but in 4 Mercenaries, there are maybe 20 missions with 2 to 3 missions per planet, and you're sort of forced to do all of them on a single playthrough. You can't do, pick 1 out of 3. like in
Mechwarrior 4
2.
Mercenaries actually had a lot more variety than I think you're giving it credit for, because you went to like 5 different planets. 6 if you counted Solaris, which I don't because, well, it's Solaris and it's not really a planet. It's more of just go here to grind money and fame.
Yeah, it's not that
And
there isn't variety, it's that you have to go through it, so every playthrough feels like you're just doing the same thing again, whereas
well,
in 2 you could mix it up and ignore entire campaigns.
well, yes, but actually no, because some missions were faction dependent. Like there were some missions that you could only do if you were on good sides with the Davion. But I get what you understand because those missions were very hard to find. Like I think there's only one that I know of, which was the Mech Factory raid / recon.
I played the shit out of these games, so maybe I don't know. I saw all of it just because I played it so much, but I thought the fame and infamy didn't have any effect on the gameplay, and at a certain point, you just hit the I want the Davion ice cream flavor or the Steiner ice cream flavor, and that's how you proceed on the last 4 or 5 missions. Which, okay, it's there, and if you take Steiner, you can take the alternate clan ending if you
Yeah.
really want, but it's all right.
Anyways, I'll be right back.
Alrighty.
Sorry.
Now we can talk shit about him.
Ah,
Like cogular is the smell like poop.
Witty, 10 out of 10.
He be the big stink.
So yeah, any other comments you guys wanted to make that we didn't cover yet?
I'm thoroughly actually really enjoying Mechwarrior 5. It's really not bad.
I'll have to be convinced otherwise, but I'll find out in whenever this finishes installing.
Oh, I died. I just exploded.
Oh, okay. That's a
I
bummer.
installed the Mechwarrior 2, Bitch and Betty, and what else do I got in this? Let me see. I installed a few things. I'm trying out different HUD mods. I have the 3D HUD, but I'm about to try the tech thingy HUD to see how that looks. There's a lot of mods for this, surprisingly, for as long as it's been out.
Yeah, I think from what I heard, I literally haven't seen any footage of the game ever, but from what people have been talking about, it sounds like it's pretty bare bones as a base game, so everyone's able to really get in and make their own mods fairly easily because they don't have to even remove a lot of content because it's just a blank canvas.
They are putting DLCs in it. The first one, I think, is a couple of clan mechs, and I think they're adding new stuff with it as well. I think.
I really hope they're not charging for it.
They're one of the mechs they're adding in this DLC called Heroes of the Inner Sphere, I believe it. It's the most orky looking mech that they have ever made, the Corsair.
Oh, right, that from MWO.
Yeah, if anyone knows anything about 40K and how the orcs love to make their vehicles look, this mech screams as if an orc clan just came out of nowhere, which wouldn't surprise me because orcs, and just stole a bunch of mechs and decided, we're just going to slap these together and make a new Gargant out of it.
I like it.
Someone's making a mech commander out of Mechwarrior 5.
Yeah,
Like
they
it's an
did.
RTS. Whoa, that looks nice. Impressive.
Yeah, I like the Corsair. It sort of reminds me of a giant stalker had a baby with a locust. Just kind of an awkward.
It's a mix of a catapult, a stalker, and a thunderbolt, and I think like a fourth mech. I forget which one it is. It's supposed to be a Franken mech.
I could see that.
Which it certainly does look like one.
Well, maybe it'll be good.
Well, one of the variants that I intend to use has 4 anti-missile system hardpoints on it.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, that's one thing I
Oh,
absolutely love
shit.
to do in MWO because I sort of, begrudgingly play that game every once in a while.
Begrudgingly.
Yeah. Everyone just focuses on killing things, but I like to play support in games, so I'll constantly load up a Kit Fox or a Raven with AMS. Like the one Kit Fox has, I think, 3 AMS hardpoints, and I'll just follow people and shoot down missiles and not even fight anything. Just
really important.
be a little helper. Like, I'm doing something different. I'm not doing deathmatch for the millionth time.
It's really annoying when you play your favorite fire support catapult, and then you see nothing but like 16 different laser anti-missile systems shooting them all down before they get anywhere near your target.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Not as annoying as taking a short-range mech and then ending up on Alpine.
Yeah,
Oh, God, yeah.
it's really bad, especially if
Yeah.
your mech can't go faster than an Atlas.
Yeah, which in Mech Warrior Online, you cannot choose your mech before the map is selected, so you're just rolling the dice. Am I gonna get a long range map for my long range mech, or am I gonna get that big urban city map where there's just a bunch of buildings in the way of my artillery missiles? Like,
Yeah,
it's terribly balanced in that way. We should be able to like have a hot list, sort of like in the invasion game mode, where you can pick from 4 mechs. Like, I'm going to take this mech with this loadout when the map gets picked, or I'll change it.
If I remember correctly, can't you vote as to which map you go to? Because there's I
Yeah, you
believe it's
can.
randomly picked between 2 maps, and people vote on either one.
Yeah, you
It's
can vote, but
No, there's 2 game modes and then 4 maps that are on the.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
and the votes are weighted so that the less you're picked, the more your vote counts, which is really awkward because it has no upper limit, and so essentially it makes it so your votes don't matter, because you could put in a vote for worth 1, but then someone else has literally a vote power of like 50 because their map keeps getting not picked, and override everyone's choices. And it's awkward and weird.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they just didn't do it like War Thunder, where you can just like pick 2 or 3 mechs and then go into the match. That way you can like spend more time fighting, and you can pick a variety of different mechs.
That's people have been asking them to do for years, but they never did. So they decided to take that idea, repackage it, and sell it to you as Mech Warrior 5.
Yeah, there
Also,
was. Welcome back. There was the invasion game mode where you could pick 4 mechs, which that's all I would play, is just that game mode, because I thought that was what MechWarrior Online had to be. But the waiting lobby time of literally 2 hours for a single match in which each of your mechs have
Yeah.
1 life, fuck that noise.
It's not great. I mean, it was fun when you got the chance to play, but
Oh yeah, I'd
waiting
pay
2
$60
hours
for
to play
that.
A 20-minute match is not great.
Yeah, it was a blast. I literally made a single animation a few years ago based on just that mode. I think I just called it Mech Warrior Invasion. Actually, if I remember correctly, that game mode wasn't even released yet. I just heard the concept, like, hey, there are generators you got to blow up and this big gun. And so I just made up something that sounded along the lines of it. But yeah, there was like a big dropship was coming into the planet, and it was going to get shot down unless the good guys destroyed this big cannon. And so they go in and shoot up a bunch of generators that are next to the cannon, and that's the story, because I can't write.
Yep.
It sounds like a Mech Commander 1 mission.
It does. Yeah.
I've
In
actually
fact, there
only
are
played.
missions like that. One of the main story points is to go after these mobile orbital guns that the Clan Smoke Jaguar had.
It also sounds like a mission from either Mech 3 or Mech Assault. Actually, yeah, it was a mission for Mech Assault.
That's right.
One of the very last missions was to blow up a bunch of orbital guns.
I might have been inspired by that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, yeah, that was so long ago. I'm sort of forgetting what my influences were.
Honestly, I kind of want to talk about Mech Commander, to be completely honest, but that's not on the subject.
Go for it. Go for it. We're here. Do it.
I'm gonna go for a little bit. Talk about Mech Commander.
Well,
I'll be back
I
in
never
5
got
minutes.
to play the first game, honestly. I only got to play the second one, which kind of sucks because I love the sprite art for Mech Commander 1. It's beautiful looking for what it is. The intro for Mech Commander 1 was actually pretty damn good, too. Even though it was live action, you can tell it was low budget, but it still looks good despite its age. The game...
Mech Commander 1 intro is fucking great.
Yeah, it is. I love the poor little light mech. He shoots that mad cat in the back, and he just looks at him. Did you really just shoot me?
Damn it, sir! I need some help.
I got his attention, sir. Good. Now run. Yeah, you better run.
Yeah, I actually like little instances of strategy. Like, hey, we're gonna lure this guy into an ambush, and we're not gonna say that's what you're doing, just in case they're monitoring our comm channels.
Yeah.
Just little stuff like that.
Yeah, and it keeps the audience engaged. Like, oh man, what are they doing? Instead of going, we're just gonna. I'm gonna elaborate everything that we're doing like they do in some animes.
But yeah, I can't watch anime. It drives me up the fucking wall.
If you watch a lot of the old ones, they don't have anywhere near the amount of problems that the new ones have.
Yeah.
Like, they don't elaborate in their head for 2.5 minutes as to how he dodged that attack.
Yeah, just like we only have $15 for our entire episode's animation budget. We have 15 still images. Quick, internal monologue.
I
Yeah.
come back and I hear someone having a moment. What?
Yeah, what?
We're
was
really
that?
enjoying
Oh,
ourselves.
I'm sorry. That was Dragon Ball Z, where they see
Yeah.
something and they go, "Oh," for like 10 minutes because that they don't want to add animation.
Well,
I should have explained that before I made the sound. 'Cause now...
one of the reasons why the show was like that is because almost every one of their, well, not almost every one, but a lot of the scenes they take them are from the mangas, which are almost shot for shot the same damn thing. Like the facial expressions, the positions of the camera work. It's literally just an animated comic in a way, but it's much more awesome to watch than to read.
Yeah, it's sort of how you run into problems within Dragon Ball Z. You have the 5 minutes until this planet explodes, and then 5 hours pass because you're translating a book to a visual.
But it made sense in manga form because you're reading pages as opposed to watching half hour long episodes. They just, I don't know why they didn't change it. I guess they wanted to keep it accurate to what was in the books, which is fair, which makes sense. Yeah. Otherwise, they would annoy the hell out of somebody.
Then again, maybe the time they were representing there didn't pass the same as time when we were watching. So it could have been 5 minutes in the show, but 2 hours for here because Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like I thought of an entire paragraph in that one moment, kind of thing.
Yeah,
How many thoughts can you have in the frozen time?
Yeah, like I think they were just using the manga or comic book, whatever you want to call it, as a literal script and just literally didn't think about it.
They altered
Excuse
something.
me, I'll be right back.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
They kind of have to, which I kind of wish they wouldn't make Goku I know it's not so I'm just going to finish this real quick. They wouldn't make him the be-all, end-all solution to everything. But that's fine. Whatever. Who cares? It's Goku.
I'm just here to watch people punch stuff. Very,
watch something blow up. Like, why not?
Yeah, I'm only familiar with the Team 4 Stars parody of Dragon Ball. But
let's Gohan go home.
That's delightful. I can't actually watch any of that stuff because like I try to nitpick the animation too much, and I just don't have a good time as I watch it.
With the abridged series, later on in the series, they actually got better writing than the show they're basing it off of.
Oh, easily.
One line. Cell is talking to Trunks, and he says, "All I see is a dead man in front of me." When he's talking to Cell, and Cell responds with, "Oh, Trunks, you have no idea how many dead men are behind me." Or he says, "How many people did you kill?" "Enough."
Yeah, I love how disgusting that Cell character is. Just
he was. Says, "Before you finish me off."
Stop it.
Anyways.
Fucking
Stop that! Stop not dying!
Yeah, I think we're going to talk about that all day long.
Yeah. All right. Back to Mech Warrior, I guess.
Yeah, back to the less interesting
Mech Warrior Online.
Yeah.
Honestly, the customization system I think was perfect.
It was good.
Yeah.
I think it was fine.
It was a perfect blend of the original, critical hit slot and hardpoint system. Like, you can have an infinite number of heat sinks in one arm, but, you can only put 2 lasers in said arm.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay.
As opposed to you can only have X amount of whatever, which would only make sense if you had weapon limits as opposed to equipment limits. Yeah. Which is why, before they changed it, some people would have 16 Beagle active probes in their mech for some reason.
Jesus Christ. Why?
Like, I will detect everything.
You'll also be detected by everything.
Yes.
Yeah, I think this might have even been in the days when certain equipment items literally had no function. They were just placeholders, so there was no limit on anything, like tag for a while, and Narc Beacon literally didn't do anything when you used them. You could mount as many as you wanted.
There was this one guy I came across that had nothing but Narc missile beacons on his mech, and I asked him, "What the hell are you doing?" He says, "I'm trying to see if I can kill someone with this."
I think that was
Being a true
me.
team player.
That might have been
Getting
me.
missile luck with everybody.
It did do damage on impact, but it was so minimal that you would out damage it with a single burst of a flamer.
Yeah, I for a while, because I was pissed off at the devs, I would mount up with narcs and walk up to friendly mechs and open the bay doors on the catapult and blast the friendly mech with all the narcs, and it wouldn't do anything, but some of the more easily butthurt enemy or allies would get really upset, like, did you just try to team kill me? Dude, it's narcs, relax.
It's not going to do anything.
Meanwhile,
It's
some random enemy LRM 30 miles away. Ooh, what's that giant red signal over there?
If only the Narc missile beacon was a model that could actually block their cockpit view.
That would be great.
Just walk up to an Atlas, aim for the eye, and completely block his vision for the rest of the game.
Oh, that would be adorable. I'd love details like that.
Oh
That
god,
way
there's
he
something in
can
my
pretend
eye.
to guy.
But yeah, in MechWarrior Online, they essentially had the hardpoint limitations of Mechwarrior 4, which allowed, you could only mount a laser or a ballistic weapon on an arm and a missile on the torso and things like that. But instead of there being a specific number of slots, like a 3-slot laser thing where you could put in any amount of laser weapons there as long as they fit in that slot. There were specific numbers of weapons. So you could have one laser, and that could be a small laser or a PPC. It's a little awkward because on some mechs, they might have very finite numbers of hardpoints. So you might want to try something new and take off the PPC they had and maybe you want to put on like 2 medium lasers and a machine gun, but you can't do that. It's a little limiting in a way, a bit too much. I appreciate the direction they were going for.
Yeah, the direction they were going was great, and it was pretty good with what they had, aside from the issues that you pointed out. Like, it didn't matter what size the weapon was, it just mattered, how many. Honestly, one way they could have fixed it is by saying you have this many slots to put it in, missiles or lasers. Like, you can either fill that up by placing a singular PPC, or you can fill that up by placing 3 medium lasers. Kind of like what Mechwarrior 4 did.
I would have liked it if you could add additional weapons, but like it would cost more to maintain or to customize, or there was some slight downside, but it's a little something.
You could do that because clan weapon pods exist because Omni-Mechs. Technically, yes, but
speaking of the whole cost thing, like that was probably the biggest. Well, that is the biggest problem with Mechwarrior Online's customization. You just earn so few C-bills per match, especially with quick play, that you can't really experiment that much. Like the engine for a heavy mech costs as much as like a Locust, so. I guess I'm not changing the engine.
Just a Locust inside the heavy mech.
Yeah, the game heavily incentivizes that you purchase a hero mech or a mech with a C-bill earning bonus, so you can counteract that.
Piranha games.
Yeah, but worse than that, we have to talk about the new thing Mechwarrior Online added, which is the experience system, which I don't think anybody liked.
No. They can go die in a fire.
The talent tree, or whatever the hell.
Yes, it used to be fairly simple and straightforward, and I kind of liked it. Originally, they had it so that you just got like 12 options you could, I think, unlock in any order, and it was like 5% extra turning speed, 5% acceleration. Just pick whichever one you want, and when you unlock all of them, you get a bonus.
And just
Yeah, but then they added a new system because they figured out that people were unlocking the stuff too quickly and they couldn't milk people for enough money. So they introduced this skill tree system, which is a confusing clusterfuck of grinding. It takes, originally it would take maybe, let's say 30 matches if you're a mediocre player to fulfill your experience tree and fully get your mech up to par with everyone else. But with the skill tree, it might take 50 hours of gameplay for a single mech without exaggeration, unless you spend money to unlock additional experience or to get a boost. And it's just... And they intentionally nerfed things. Like, instead of being a bonus, you're getting yourself back up to normal. Like, the range for LRMs went from 1 kilometer normally to 900 meters, and you get up to 1 kilometer again if you fully upgrade your experience. Instead of feeling like you're actually progressing, it feels like someone whacked you on the kneecaps and broke your leg, and you have to get back to normal health or else you're screwed. It's just a bad system.
Yeah.
It encourages
remember when
whales
they
to
used to,
buy out and just.
I'm sorry.
It encourages whales just to buy out and spend money on a terrible game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were like,
Or at the very least, a disappointing one.
yeah, instead of coming.
I'd say terrible. The balancing was shit, and
Yeah.
it's pretty much dead by now.
Yeah, someone posted a screenshot a few days ago of their Mech Warrior online match, and I haven't played in 2 years. I looked at it and I recognized almost every single username on that scoreboard. That's a bad sign.
Oh,
Jeez.
that is nasty.
Yeah. And I missed Mechwarrier's online community because it was really good.
It was really good in certain pockets early on, but then the toxicity creeped in, and the people who were fun and enjoyed the game got pushed out because they didn't want to deal with the assholes. And then the assholes got more numerous and attracted more assholes. All of a sudden, all the good people left, and almost entirely it's just a toxic mess where I can't have fun. Everyone takes it too seriously. It's just not a good experience.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god, why are you mounting flamers on your mech? Flamers are not part of the meta, and if you're not playing the meta, you're dooming our team!
Yeah. Yeah, it was annoying how many people would actively try to get others banned for not using Mega Mech builds, or the approved meta loadouts. They have to have the best. If you don't have the best, you can't play our game anymore. And we don't understand why there are only 20 people left that play this.
Play the fucking laser vomit, noob!
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god!
They act as if the game is in a tournament and everything is on the line, when in reality, nothing is on the line.
I made the
Except
mistake
your
of...
sanity, dignity, and will to live. Maybe.
Yeah. I made the mistake of joining the clans. I think it was Clan Jade Falcon for the faction play mode when they introduced that. And holy shit, I've... Counter-Strike looked like the most tame, friendly experience I've ever had in a game compared to that.
I mean, you did join Jade Falcon. I mean, what did you expect?
True.
Yeah.
True. Jade Falcon is by far the worst clan to ever exist.
I don't know.
I honestly would have gone with Ghost
Jaguars are filled with dicks, but at least they're honest about
Yeah.
themselves.
I would have gone with Wolf or hell, maybe even Coyote if they still existed.
To
I've
be
always
fair...
gone with Ghost Bear.
Yeah.
We are Clan Jade Falcon, and we want everyone to play the fucking meta!
Yeah.
Fuck.
King Crab, 12 medium laser noobs with like 3,000 targeting computers.
Yeah, there's one early video, and I don't like to talk about other people too much, so I won't name any names, but there was one early video where I got essentially the entire Jade Falcon MWO community to provide the voices for one of my animations. Holy fuck, the salt. Just...
How many of them were there? Like 5?
There were about 30, and I ended up picking like 7 people. It was the video with the VTOLs or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah. When you say salt, you mean jealousy salt or angry rage, I hate you salt?
It was mostly angry, like, this is not canon type stuff. Like,
well, it is Jade Falcon.
Yeah, there were a lot of stupid nitpicks, because for the most part, my videos are actually very close to canon. For for the most part. I just like the obscure, weird stuff, and I don't like any Mary Sue-ish, overpowered
Yes.
factions. Like, I sort of hate the Wolf Dragoons and things like that.
Well,
Well,
half the reason the Wolf Dragoons are as stupidly powerful as they are is because they're basically just Clan Wolf in disguise as a mercenary unit.
yeah, like I
Yeah.
said, they cheat.
Yeah, it's just I
So
don't like that they have so many exclusive mech designs. Like they have, I have one of the TROs next to me. But like they got the Hoplite and a couple other mechs that only they,
Annihilator.
yeah, only they are allowed to use. And for so long, specifically every technical readout said only the Wolf Dragoons have this mech. No other faction has it. Fuck you if you like this mech and want to play something else. It's just, please don't do that, writers. Please don't.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense if they have a mech that is unique to them, but it's not overpowered as hell.
Yeah,
Like,
like the
there's-
Northland Highlanders have, well, the Highlander, I think.
I would hope. I mean, they do have standard tech versions of the Highlander. Which
Yeah.
have the XL engine, the Gauss rifle, and ER PPC and all that, which made sense because it was a Star League era mech, and it wasn't extinct at any point. Some of the mechs were kind of extinct at one point when the Dragoons came around and goes, "Hey guys, that's just an Annihilator." Sorry.
Oh yeah, the Annihilator. I remember that thing in Mech for Mercs.
I remember seeing that in Mechwarrior 3 and going, "What the hell is that? Oh, I'm dead."
I am back. So sorry.
No worries. Welcome back. It's just as a reminder for everyone, we're at the 1 hour mark, so we're going to start to wind down a little bit.
I guess we can close out by talking about Mech Warrior 5 Mercenaries and the absolute insanity and stupidity that is its customization system.
Yeah, just pardon me for a minute. I need to just express my disdain for Mechwarrior 5 for a moment.
That's fair.
Oh, okay.
Did you go
Yeah.
beyond your?
I didn't quite catch it. Can you do it again?
Uh-oh.
Perfect. Use that take.
All right. But yeah, I literally have not watched a trailer. I haven't seen anything of Mech Warrior 5. I've been avoiding it like the plague, but I'm installing it right now and I'm gonna do a video on my first impressions, and maybe I'll enjoy it, maybe will hate it, and we'll get something amusing out of it. We'll see.
Okay,
It's really not
so
that bad.
don't talk about Mech Warrior 5 customization, or
Oh, talk about it. I don't give a fuck.
okay,
It
it's
sucks.
yeah. Here's the thing: it took the hardpoint system and made it worse.
Yeah.
I don't know how. Each hardpoint now only supports one weapon. So, for example, if you have a large laser hardpoint, say on, the arm of an Uziel, you can only fit one laser weapon. Doesn't matter about the size. You can mount a singular small laser or a singular fucking ERPPC plus capacitors. But that is it. You cannot mount like 3 medium lasers in the place of a singular PPC.
Why did they do that?
Isn't that the
Because
same
fuck you, that's why.
in Mechwarrior Online? I thought that was the same as that.
No, you can add more than.
Now I
okay,
just
let-
started with the customization yesterday, so I'm probably wrong on this. So correct me if I am. But I noticed that if I take off a medium laser off of one of the laser hardpoints, I'm sorry, a small laser, I can't replace it with a medium laser.
That's because
Yeah.
small lasers, machine
Or
guns,
under
and
all
flamers, I think, have been classified into support
Support.
weapons.
Oh,
Just
that's
like
weird.
in MWO, except it's
Yeah.
weird.
That's
Where instead of
Which-
it's,
ugh.
it's
don't know
technically
why,
an omni
because-
slot.
They did that for BattleTech because then you could use them when.
Kilroy, you were saying?
Just quick heads up. I had to save the recording real fast because the lights are flickering, and I don't know if I'm going to lose power. So
Oh,
I'm
shit.
starting a second recording session right now, so we're going to lose like 10 seconds of whatever we were saying, but please continue.
Well, better than losing everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, weird-ass support weapons? What else did they do? That sounds so weird.
Well,
Uh,
okay, let me explain real quick. Like in Mechwarrior Online, like you had slots that were specific to weapon types, but they didn't really limit by size. You could just swap like a small laser into the same slot as a medium laser, and it's good stuff. But with Mech Warrior 5, it's size specific. Like there are small, medium, and large slots. So, like, you can't put a large laser in a medium laser slot, and like, if you have a medium laser slot, the only things you can put in there are a medium laser or a small laser or whatever. So, like, you only have like a quarter of the customization options you have in any other Mech Warrior game.
That's retarded. Like, what? That's not even customization at that point. Why even have it?
Yeah, I don't get it either. Like, hey, like my first inclination is that they were going for balance, but it's a single player game. Like, you're playing against AI, and balance matters, but not that much. Like, holy shit.
Sure,
Wow.
you do have co-op. You're not doing PvP like in Mech Warrior Online.
Yeah.
That's so bizarre.
Like, customization would probably be just way better than this absolute anal retentive focus on making sure that every mech can't fit something overpowered onto it. Anyways, you're saying?
I don't get this obsession with limiting customization. Like, in the lore, if you're a diehard lore fan, they customize the hell out of everything. Like, Felon Kell turns his Wolfhound into a Wolfhound 2C. Like, they completely change everything. They sometimes change the tonnage of mechs. Like, what? Where's this idea coming from?
Yeah, Mech Warriors. Now, I do understand why half the reason they built the hard. Sorry, I should emphasize. I do understand half the reason they were trying to go for the size system. It's so you couldn't, fit an LRM-20 into the head slot of the Shadowhawk and have an head-mounted LRM-20 launcher. But they've done it so overboard that it makes it useless. You don't customize. You basically do a tiny upgrade. Oh, that's a small laser? Here, let me put a... Wait, no, only small lasers go there. Let me put a ER small laser there. Or, oh, I'm overheating too much. Let me replace one medium laser with a small laser.
That's bizarre because, with the... I know you're probably joking with your example, but with the Shadowhawk, the head doesn't have enough slots for that big of a weapon anyways. It's self-controlling. So what the hell?
Yeah.
What I noticed is that, I don't know if it's... Okay, I know this used to be canon. At one point they changed it where you can't do that, and apparently they changed it back, at least in this, is that mechs used to be able to have, at least in technical readouts, you could put double heat sinks, clan double heat sinks, and intersphere single heat sinks on the same mech. And then later on they realized how kind of overpowered that may be. So they changed it where you couldn't do that, where you couldn't have multiple different heat sink designs.
They changed that back
in this
in
game.
Mech
You can't. Yeah.
They changed that back in Mech 3. However, I think that was mainly to prevent them from getting around the ridiculous amount of heat that weapons made.
Yeah.
To balance lasers.
Which is fair because at least, the lasers in that game were kind of similar to how they are nowadays in MWO and Mech Warrior 5.
Yeah,
but
straight
at least they're not like in Mech Warrior 4 where you fired them and they instantly you aim at a section of a mech, and if it happens to move after you've hit it, the lasers track where they hit.
Yeah,
that was broken as hell.
I remember doing a lot of that with machine guns, and oh god, an annihilator with like 15 heavy machine guns.
Everything.
There were no survivors.
That's like a similar build in Mech Warrior 2, from what I understand. All you do is get a Mad Dog, put 16 machine guns in there, and you would eat everything because it would multiply the damage in such a way that the game, from what I've been told, what it did was it miscalculated the amount of damage that it was doing. So instead of you doing like half a point of damage with a single volley, you were doing like 500 or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I think half the reason was just the stupid fast fire rate of the machine guns and how many you were using. To be fair, that engine is held together with duct tape and glue.
Fun fact, the Mad Dog is the only mech in Mech Warrior 2 that you can literally shoot yourself to death because
with your own missiles.
the spawn point for the missiles is inside your torso.
Yeah, I seen it happen where a guy fired a volley of 2 LRM-20s and half the missiles hit his own cockpit
Damn.
Yeah.
and blew
Yikes.
himself. Suicide. Just not. It's amazing how well that game ran, considering all the issues that it clearly
Yeah.
had. But also at the same time, how smooth it ran at the same time, despite the errors.
Yeah, it was. That was a game in the era where games were made and were a labor of love instead of
Yes.
a quick turnout to get some money.
NFL Blitz. Or NFL Madden, sorry. Blitz was awesome on the N64.
Or MBK 2021.
Yeah.
Or any Mech Warrior game besides 5 or online. Fucking piranha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can patch some of the more egregious errors with mods for Mech Warrior 5 and enjoy co-op in some way.
A crap ton of mods have already been made from Mechwarrior 5. I even heard from one of my friends who's played it that there's a mod that turns it into Mech
Yeah,
Command.
There
there
is that. We were just talking about that. I think it's on the Mech Warrior 5 page. But it
Apparently,
looks
there's even a
interesting.
mod that improves the AI, which is honestly something that I agree with because I've seen the AI in this game do things that I would expect it not to do. Like, oh, okay, look, there's like a 40-foot drop off this cliff here. Whoopity doo. You're in a 20-meter tall machine. What the hell is 40 feet to you? Let me just go all the long way around, even though I have jump jets.
Yeah, the AI in Mechwarrior 5 is probably worse than the AI in Mechwarrior 3.
Yes, because at least in 3, they knew which way to go.
And they also knew how to use jump jets and
Yeah.
lead their targets and shoot specific portions of your mech.
Yeah, so did Mech Warrior 2, or at the very least that Nova I talked about earlier.
Yeah, some mechs knew how to use jump jets. I believe mechs that, lighter mechs knew how to use their jump jets. Oh god, flying summoners. Those things were the bane of my existence when I was trying to
Can
do
you
it.
imagine a modern Mech Warrior game with omnidirectional jump jets like they were in Mech Warrior 2?
Oh, I want that. I would kill for that.
Mechwarrior 3 had omnidirectional jump jets.
I want
Welcome to Mad Cat
like
Airlines.
Mech Warrior 2, but I want melee at the same time, so people do friggin' Armored Core melee beat.
That'd be great.
I remember playing a demo of Armored Core a long time ago. Armored Core was good fun.
It was. I like Chrome Hounds too. You ever did that?
Oh, I remember playing the shit out of Chrome
I
Hounds.
love the music for the garage.
I remember watching my brother play Chrome Hounds. That game looks fucking sick.
It was pretty good.
There's one build that you can do that literally has all you do. The weapon pods are basically hexagons. You can connect them so far. It looks like your mech is at least 2 football fields wide.
Yeah.
You ever seen that intro for Armored Core 4 Answer, that giant walking aircraft carrier thing? If you ever look that up, that's how wide this one mech was, and it was nothing but machine guns. He couldn't turn. Because the map wasn't wide enough for him. He would just fire, and it would go across the map in like this massive tidal wave of bullets.
Yeah. And Chrome Hounds was good fun. However, am stuck on the last mission because it's a 1v3 and all of the enemy mechs are ridiculously powerful.
Yeah, that's throwing everything at you, including the kitchen sink, because we think this is what difficulty is.
Yeah, I've tried multiple scum builds. Like I've done a hovercraft with a bunch of artillery guns. I've done walking legs with a bunch of artillery guns. My only reliable kill option has been hovercraft with rocket spam. Problem is, I don't live long enough because I only kill 1 or 2 of them before getting non-alived by the third.
I'm sure there's some workaround where you just cheese the hell out of it, but I mean cheese with cheese.
Yeah.
But I mean that's the only way to beat cheese, honestly, is with more cheese.
Mechlab fromage. Yeah,
that's all.
That didn't work.
Yeah,
that's all you can say.
Piranha Games is lactose intolerant.
Apparently.
Because I'm lactose intolerant as well.
Butter
Oh
toast.
man, this means you can't cheese the last loaf of Chrome Hounds. Pour one
no.
out for Losocular boys.
Nah, it's all right. I don't give a crap about my lactose intolerant. I still have a lot of ice cream, despite what my stomach says.
You're going to give a lot of crap after that.
Oh shit.
But yeah, on that note, let's wrap this shit up.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up.
All
What
right.
do we wrap it up with, though?
Devin, do you want to reiterate your art page for the viewers?
Yeah, actually, follow the Instagram, which is d.toddart. That's d.toddart.
All right, we'll have to all check that out. Anything else you guys want to plug for your particular interests or hobbies or whatever?
Plug.
I sometimes upload to YouTube. Channel name is same as the one here, just the Cogular. I do random compilations of moments of insanity with some of my friends. I'm currently working on a random insanity thing that me and a person in Dutchland have been playing together. And I've also been doing a series recently of Relics of Nita, where I'm playing an old version of a game that some of you might have heard, From the Depths.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, you can build literally anything. Tanks, boats, submarines, spacecraft, anything.
We'll have to check that out.
But yeah.
Alrighty. And I've been Ian. You're already on the channel for Farcast Animation, I hope. So please smash that like button. And I'm going to vomit if I say the rest of this phrase because it's fucking overused and everyone hates it.
Smash that like button.
No,
Hit
no,
subscribe.
don't.
Ring the bell.
No.
Show it to your dog.
Oh, no.
Your dog is good for my analytics.
This episode of Farcast is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. Click the link
Oh
in the
my
description.
god.
Oh, God. And now a word from our sponsors.
I want to headbutt a knife.
Now for a word from our sponsors, Wix.
And now back to the knife.
Oh, no. We're going off the rails. We got to end it.
Good
Good night, everybody.